What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. I'm gonna be showcasing you guys a 60 card branded deck that I've been just having a lot of fun with. I haven't really showcased this profile yet, but I figured I'd show you guys something that I've been working on that I just been really having a lot of fun with. It's a kind of like a different take on the current Despia list. The standard list have been kind of going around. And I know a lot of people have been asking for a 60 card list, so I'm finally going to show it today. If you guys want, earlier access to these deck profiles, and definitely subscribe to my classroom in my Metafy Patreon link below. It's a good way for you guys to get access to a lot of these deck lists early. You can even get access to lists that I would even consider for the YCS level. And all you have to do is just join the classroom. There's a bunch of different tiers, and for only $5 a month, you can just support the channel through that. So really appreciate you guys. If you guys are more interested in learning a little bit more about any of that stuff, if I can help you in any way to help you get better at the game, then that would support me greatly. Another thing is we also have a Yugioh masterclass that we recorded, uploaded, and you can see all the testimonials here. I think it went really well, and that it's going to give a lot of people an edge, I believe, in the upcoming events to come. So if you guys are interested in that, you guys can also check that in the description box below to get access to all that good stuff. So hope you guys enjoy the content, and then let's get right into the video. So first off, for the deck list, I'm currently playing, like I said, 60 cards. I really I'm playing a different list than normal, which is it's a 60 cards only because I wanted to fit a lot of Bissus. I think Bissus are really good, and I think they're good enough to help you actually break the Yugioh board, because I think that's the deck to beat, right? Yugioh is honestly one of the strongest decks in the format, if not the strongest, and it puts up a formidable board. So today I wanted to showcase a deck that I think could actually win going second against that, right? A deck that can actually have a chance to beat the Yugioh board, which is literally 8 interruptions uninterrupted. And I think Bistos will help you achieve that. So let's get into the profile. I'm playing 3 Aluber. Because we're playing 60 cards, you need 3 Aluber to see your engine more consistently. I've always been a fan of Aluber at 3, even, especially when Branded Fusion 1-to-1. 3 Cartesia, it's one of my favorite cards in the deck, and you'll see very closely in the extra deck that the reason why I play Cartesia at 3 is not only because I think it's one of the best cards at achieving access to Grand Gonol and achieving access to Branded Fusion, because it can make Grand Gonol and send cards like Sarnier or Lebellion, but it helps you see it helps you access the synchro monsters, which is something I've been playing, the Chaos Angels and the Despotter, because I play so many Bestials. The Cartesia can actually access that piece of your engine. I actually won a game recently through D-Barrier calling Fusion, because I was able to access this Potter, Herratic Seal, and Chaos Angel, and Cartesia helps me access that. So we play 2 Quem, same reason as Cartesia. It's a tuner, and it can pretty much access you the synchro lines as well. So I really like Quem. I play 1 Tragedy for Branded Fusion lines and what you need it. Honestly, it doesn't really come up that often. This won't even cut it, but I kept it in for a lure. And then 3 Albion, 3 Albaz, right? That's been always the standard. These are the bread and butter, right? Albion making Cartesia live by sending Albaz, allowing you to summon Cartesia from the hand is really good. Another cool thing with Quem that I forgot to mention is that Quem can actually send Mercurier, which Abyssal can target the Mercurier in order to make it so that you have Quem plus Baldric, which gives you access to Synchro 10s. The Mercurier can then access cards like Shrouded, cards like Cartesia, right? So really good there. And then you have the 1 Magnamut, max out on all of the Bestials, and 3 Lebellion. So why am I trying to play these Bestials? Well, first off, playing multiple Lebellions to get access to these Bestials allow you to get access to Loss very consistently, and allows you to make it so that Cartesia, even if you don't open Branded Fusion, can do so much once Loss is up, right? So and Cartesia is a very hard card to imperm or Veiler once you put Loss up, right? Because if they imperm or Veiler the Cartesia, sure, no problem. You just do it again on their turn, right? And multiple Bestials can also be fused with Cartesia into cards like Borrowlord Furious. The multiple Lebellions allows you to even access cards like Light and Darkness Dragon, right? Making it even easier to summon this card under Shifter. So that's why. So yeah, 30 monsters. I think also the Bister cards are just overall very good into all the Fiendsmith engine that's been running around. They're good into Snake Eyes to stop them from accessing IP as part of their end board. They're good into the Yugioh board because it cuts off them from getting access to DSRA. So let me kind of explain the theory with all the Bystials. So obviously, like with DSR in the format, your board breakers don't really resolve because they can chain a chamber or escape and then chain DSRA in response to like Dark Ruler, right? But the Bystials, if you time them correctly, which you'll see in like some of the replays that I'll show you guys after, can actually be used very creatively to ensure that your opponent is not going to be able to set up DSRA. And why is that important? Well, that means that if you use the Bystials to stop DSRA, you can then resolve like the Dark Ruler no more, right? So that's when Dark Ruler no more gets value. So I think like we're in a format where Despot can't just reliably play all breakers to break apart the board. It needs to play like a combination of hand traps in the form of Bystials and breakers, and the fact that Bystials can also be engine cards by turning to Erratic Seal or going to the Spotter or Chaos Angel. It's like another cool benefit, another cool like take on the deck, right? Like shout out to my brother Nesh, you know what I'm saying? Like my boy, he was the one who kind of like really invented the Branded Synchro deck. So I'm just trying to take a unique spin on an old version of Branded that I think is actually very viable again, right? I'm playing 3 Desires. I know it's a little bit risky. I know Branded Fusion is not 1, but I think you guys just gotta play this card. You wanna, with all these Bystials, I think there's a chance that you might brick. So I want Desires to increase my consistency, and it draws you 2 brand new cards. So look, I've been a big fan of Desires in the 60 card list. I think I've topped like literally 3 or 2 regionals. I think 3 regionals in total with like Desires. It's just too good. I think you gotta play this card. You gotta play Allure of Darkness as well, because all these Bystials aren't that great sometimes going first. So like being able to just banish them is like really strong. It also works really well with Regain, which I'm not currently playing. I'm trying to find a way to fit Regain in. I'm not sure when I want to cut yet, but I think there's room to almost put Regain in as well. But majority of the time I'm trying to put up Loss, so that's why like it's kind of weird to play Regain, because majority of the time you are getting access to Loss. I play 3 High Spirits. You have all these Dragon Dark monsters, right? Like all these Dragon monsters that you can easily dump out of your hand, right? To turn on the High Spirits. High Spirits and is an insane combo line because it can search you the Quema or the Cartasia with the Bystials in order to like combo really nicely. Guys, by the way, let me know if you're interested. I'm thinking about making like a branded master class, branded master like guide to like teach you all branded. This is a deck that's been a passion project of mine for a while now. I started playing it again recently, and I just been in love with the deck. So I've been unironically just spending a lot of time trying to learn all the combos, the sequencing, all that good stuff. And you guys have seen like some of the craziest board I'm about to show you guys soon that I'm breaking. So yeah, I think that if you guys are interested in, like, let me know in the comment section below if you want some like a branded master guide class that maybe I'll like put up on like the Metafy or something like that. Yeah. One duplication is still very strong, right? Like make sure Thrust basically access Branded Fusion, but in this deck, Thrust can also access the Desires or the Allure to draw you multiple cards or the Talents, right? Opening, you still play it because even though it does lock you into fusion monsters, it is still too good of a card because of how well it combines with the Sarniers, with the Albions, even with the Libellions, right? So I think you still gotta play this card. Yeah, Dark Ruler, like I said, one of the best breakers in the format. It's just like really nicely paired with the Bystials, can almost always resolve through, because like the way they use you use the Bystials to turn off the DSRA. So Dark Ruler just make sure that they cannot use DSRA to stop the Dark Ruler, right? Like because without Lacrima in the format, it's not easy to get as many Light Fiends after you resolve the Bystials. You play 1 Retribution for the Albion, 1 Branded Fusion, 1 Foolish Goods, or 1 Foolish Bear, 1 Goat Sark for consistency. I play them over like I play 1 deployment because deployment locks you. So I kind of like play the 1 Foolish to 1 Sark over the deployment at the moment, just to kind of like not really get locked, so that I can access my synchro lines, especially going second. Call by the Talents, the red, the white. The white is really important because it's another way to fusion. And with all the Bystials you play, if you read white carefully, you have to fuse using including a dragon monster. So white is a card that allows you to access like these powerful boss monsters going second, and it gives you like an extra push that I really liked, and it's an extra push that does not lock you, right? So Branded White does not lock you into fusion summoning. Same with Branded in red. Obviously Branded Fusion does, but these are cards that do not lock you into fusion, so I really like them. The one loss that, of course, you still play the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare because it is a win condition going second. For the extra deck, I play the 2 Mirror Jades, the 2 Albions, the 1 Sanctifier, the 1 Libellion, the 1 Titanic Clad, the double Grand Granule. I still like double Grand Granule in this deck quite a lot. I think it's too strong to not play. There's a world you might cut down on Grand Gano to fit like Guardian Chimera, but the reason why I cut Guardian Chimera is so I can play Light and Darkness Dragon. But I can definitely see room for Guardian Chimera too if you like that. One Rinbrum and then one Borderlord Furious. The Rinbrum is a combo with Lad to make it so that Lad doesn't negate your own cards. And then Herratic Seal. Guys, yeah, I have to explain to you how broken Herratic Seals is. Herratic Seal is a card that can summon Albaz from the deck. So it's basically like a Rinbrum summoning Albaz. I love this card. I think it's really, really strong in the branded deck with all the Bystials. Like I said, I won a game going second through skill drain against a Runic White Force player because of Herratic Seal. Because I literally went Herratic Seal effect, tribute the skill drain, summon Albaz on their turn, and it was just a wrap pretty much once you establish the Mirror Jade. So Herratic Seal has infinite value in the deck because of the fact that you play Fallen Albaz. The Case Angel is really neat because they never expect it, and you usually get to make it with a light and a dark because your tuners, like the Cartesia and the Quem, are lights, and then you have all the Bistos being dark, and it's just unaffected. A lot of decks in the format, guys, do not have an out to Chaos Angel. So literally, you can send on this card and buy multiple turns in order to get access to your plays. And then of course this Potter because it offers some really nice lines that I really like, and it's a really good way to even recycle back your Mirror Jade from the banish. Like their opponent was like, "What? You could do that?" So I think it's really, really cool. This card to be able to get anything back from the banish. Light or dark is just too crazy. So yeah, and it's also a good way to recycle back your resources because when it negates, it shuffles back the resources. Just a overall fantastic card. My side deck is three copies of Phantasmic because it's a Dark Dragon. You could make an argument to play Chummy as well, but I think Chummy is worse because you won't draw it in 60. But Phantasmic is a good card to draw as a 6 card because they usually summon Link monsters on your turn. D-Bear for like 10 pi. You can set off Thrust. Evenly matched Droplets for more board breakers going second because you kind of take off some engine cards with breakers. Duplication up you going first even more. And of course, Branded Beast, just like for like, I don't know, like back row decks or anything along those lines. And it helps you put up loss. If they out the loss, you can like Beast, put up loss again, and it's just like really, really strong. I think like some setups you would want it against like the Runic decks. So yeah, that's pretty much the list, guys. So now we're gonna get into some gameplay to kind of show you guys how this deck is piloted, right? So
it was, guys, Pack back here again, and before we continue with the rest of the video, don't forget to go to tixfilm.com and use Pack10 for 10% off. You can enjoy some of the best sleeves and playmats that Supreme Pro has to offer. Use Pack10 and get 10% off. Enjoy the rest of the video. See ya.
The first match is actually going to be against Lucas Sacco. We recently played an Iron Man, and I played against his team. Alright, guys, and I'm on the play here. I'm playing against his team. So we start off with Aluber. We don't care that they got impermanence. We go activate High Spirits afterwards to get access to Spring's kit. And then we activate Pot of Desires. We're going to draw 2 brand new cards. I drew Duplication and Fusion Deployment. That gets called by the that gets Vela, but we have Call by the Grave to stop it. We now search a copy of Branded Fusion. We're going to play the Branded Fusion and now send Albaz and send Lubellion to make Albion. Albion effect is going to, of course, make a Mirror Jade. We're going to tribute to summon the Lubellion, put up Loss, and then set Duplication to copy Branded Fusion, and then use the Albion to pretty much set Retribution. The reason why you get Retribution here is because we banished our Gimmick Puppet and we banished a Branded and Red off of the Pot of Desires, but you can do a really nice play where you use Retribution to put back the Mirror Jade after you use it, and then use Duplication to make a second Mirror Jade, so you have an interruption. Even if you don't have Red, even if you don't have Gimmick Puppet, you can still put up a lot of interruptions with this board, right? And also search Mercury off the loss. So he draws Return, he goes Imperm on the Mirror Jade. I have to turn it off. We go Mirror Jade effect to dump a Rinbrum, just for utility. And then my opponent's going to go Nightmare Throne. Throne is going to pop the Spirit of Yubel. That's going to prompt us to use Branded Retribution, which will negate the Spirit of Yubel. And then we're going to activate Fusion Duplication to pretty much fuse into using the Cartesia and the Albaz into a Albion. Albion effect is then going to trigger. We're going to then make Mirror Jade, and then we're going to use the effect. The reason why I don't chain Branded Loss there is because under Duplication, Branded Loss won't be protected. So they can like potentially Ghost Ogre it. So I want to activate Loss when it cannot be Ghost Ogre under the Fusion Summon window. So now we make another Mirror Jade, and now we can get Search Mercury, and it can't be Ogred. So we have 2 interruptions for his 2 last cards, so this should be pretty much game. So Opponent's going to go Beckoning. We're going to negate it with Mercurier. And then I'm going to use the Mirror Jade to banish the Beckoning to play around a Lotus from the hand as well. The thing that you need to know is that the reason why we use Mercurier on Beckoning is because if he gets Gates, he can use Gates to summon back the Spirit of Yubel. So doing it this way allows us to play around that. So now we're going to go into game number 2. So we open Baldrake, Sarnier, Aluber, Forbidden Droplets, Albion. My opponent opens Veiler, Baldrake, Lotus, and Terraforming. So my opponent's going to do some nasty combos here. He's going to go this into Throne. Throne, pop the OG Yubel. That's going to summon Terra Incarnate. Then he's going to go normal summon Lotus. Lotus is going to be summoning Spirit of Yubel. Spirit of Yubel effect on a set Nightmare Pain. Shuffle back the Lotus. Shuffle back the Yubel. And we're going to make Phantom. We're going to activate Nightmare Pain next to pop the Spirit of Yubel. Triggering the Spirit of Yubel to summon another Yubel from the deck. Adding the Squirmer. We're going to make Yama. We're going to add a copy of Shivara to our hand. And then we're going to special the Squirmer. Make Moon. Shuffle for another Phantom. Make Requiem. Requiem is going to summon Engraver from the deck. Use both to summon the sequence. We're going to Shivara pop the Spirit of Yubel. So then use Spirit of Yubel and Yama and Throne to add another copy of Terra Incarnate. Summon it from our hand. Summon Spirit of Yubel off Yama. And then summon Yubel off of Spirit of Yubel's effect. We're then going to link both of these off into another Yama. Triggering the Shivara to set a escape. And then we're going to overlay the Spirit of Yubel and the Yubel into Verudras. So then they're going to activate the effective sequence. And now I'm going to showcase you guys why the Bistros are so powerful. I'm going to activate the Sarnier. In response, they're going to change Verudras. But Verudras does not destroy monsters in the hand. So the Bistros are pretty good here because they don't lose to Verudras. And then we're going to use... it's going to resolve it to summon a DSRA. But because it resolved, he'll have no Fiendsmith in his graveyard for follow-up now. Then he's going to link both of these off into a Rage. And then use Sequence to target DSRA to equip it. We're then going to use the other Bistio to target the Sequence. And this is really nice because by using the Bistio to target the Sequence, it turns off Sequence being a follow-up play for him completely. And he doesn't Phantom up because he only plays 2 Phantoms, at least in his list. Which means that he wants to kind of like save the Phantom. Pretty much for I guess that's like the rationale, I guess. But yeah, the Baldrake does resolve, and now DSRA no longer has to negate, right? So we're able to resolve like the board breaker I was talking about, the Forbidden Droplets. So we're gonna draw for turn, and I'm gonna start off by using Albion to get Albaz in the graveyard. The reason why I do that is so I can special summon Cartesia after the fact. I also immediately change Sarnier. You guys might be wondering, why would I go Albion, send Albaz, and change Sarnier targeting the Yamas? There's a very important reason. So if you guys want to pause the video to try to figure it out, maybe you let me know. But the main reason why, if you guys decide to continue watching, is because on Resolution, I can priority activate Droplets and play around Draw and Lockbird. But so depending on what I draw, I might consider priority activating Droplets. But I want to use the Sarnier right now in Chilling 2 before I resolve the draw, so that if I priority choose Droplets on Resolution, then I can at least get the value of Sarnier to banish the Yama, and then I can Droplets it from the field. But I would get the bonus effect of using Sarnier to banish the Yama, and that's why I activated the Bistio right there. So I banished the Yama, and then I draw Springer's Kit. I don't Droplets on Res because after I saw this, I realized Kit can add the Brand Diffusion from the graveyard that I can dump off of Sarnier. So I don't really see a value or a need in order to for Droplets on Resolution, right? Because I will have access to Brand Diffusion even through Droplets. So that's why I say that's fine. My opponent says that's fine. I'm going to go Special Summon Cartesia, and then I'm going to go Normal Summon Aluber to play around like any sort of Impermanence or Veiler. In this case, it's going to be Veiler because I know his backwards escape. He chains the Veiler on the Aluber. It seems free. I chain the Cartesia. And then he chains another Veiler on Cartesia. And then here, I'm going to be able to chain Droplets. And I have to be very careful how many cards I send here. Why? If I send 3 cards here, I actually would instantly lose. The main reason being, if I send 3 cards to the grave, my opponent can chain escape to pop his Rage and then pop his own Phantom. which means, or Poppy's own DSRA, apologies, which means that because I sent 3 for droplets and he only has 2 monsters on resolution, he would actually get to keep the Omni Negative Regis and Yubel, because droplet needs to negate the same amount of monsters that I sent, or the same amount of cards that I sent. So if I send 3 and it does not negate 3, then it doesn't negate at all, because I can't choose that many monsters, right? So that's why, like, I sent specifically only 2, because if he chains escape, target, and pop his own cards, he'll still have 2 cards for me to choose from on resolution. So it cannot be 3 or 4 ever, pretty much. It always has to be 2. And by it sending 2, I can then use it to negate the Verugas and the Phantom of Yubel. Okay. That means my Cartasia would resolve because I dodged the effect Villa, which allows me to summon Borlord Furious Dragon using the 2 dark monsters, the 2 dark dragons that I have. And that will allow me to search a copy of Brand Fusion, and then trigger Sarnier on resolution to send a copy of Brand Retribution to the graveyard. And that's really nice because it gives me a card to put back for free off of Springen's kit, right? Then I'm going to activate Brand Fusion. My opponent chains Rage, targets Furious. I don't want him to make SP, so I'm going to chain the Furious, and I'm going to target his Nightmare Pain so that I can enter the battle phase. He lets it go, and then I'm able to summon Albion. Albion effect would then activate. He chains a Abyssal on the Libellion, so I said sure. And then now I banish the Albaz and the Furious in order to make a Mirror Jade. On here, I then use Mirror Jade's effect, and I'm going to be banishing the Rage, because the reason why I do this is because if I activate Mirror Jade, I force him to use Escape. If he does not want to use Escape, then I'll just banish the Rage. So it's kind of like a checkmate to check the last form of interruption he has, which is Escape. And then I'm going to use the Retribution to add the Brand Fusion back to my hand. Special summons the Kit. Kit effect will add a copy of Branded in white because there's nothing else I can use. Put back the Brand Fusion, and then I can finally enter battle. So I'm going to attack the Phantom with the Kit because it got dropleted. So I'm able to attack over, and it can be destroyed by battle. I'm going to crash the Albion into the Baldrake, and then use the Mirror Jade to attack over the DSRA. In main phase 2, I can use Branded in white to summon a Libellion, but I don't have a card to discard, which is fine. And then at end phase, I can go Effective Cartasia, add it back to my hand. Effective Titaninclad to summon Albaz and use Albaz's effect to make another Jade with the Verugas, and then use Albion's effect in my graveyard to set Branded in red. So I was able to crack the entire board, okay, right, of this with like Veiler, Baldrake, full, I guess, Yubel board, and I put him on no follow-up, right? He has 7 cards off in his extra deck, which I can pretty much determine what they are, just like, you know, understanding like how the Yubel extra deck works. And then he's out of Phantoms. He has no more DSRA. The sequence is banned, so he can never recover his Fiendsmith engine. He has no more Unchained engine with all the Yamas and the Rage completely gone. No more Regis. So the only thing left in his extra deck is like Caesar, Moon, Mudraker, Rex, Requiem. Cards that just cannot apply any sort of pressure at all. And then the game is pretty much going to be over from here. He's going to try to, like, you know, come back. But I'm going to pretty much make it so that he cannot. And then, yeah. So the game's pretty much over from there. I can, like, fast forward you guys the rest. It takes a while because I have to kind of, like, play around Phantom. And, like, you know, Nightmare Throne is Omega broken. But, yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy that kind of, like, analysis of gameplay with the actual deck as well. And, yeah. So I actually do have a replay where I actually messed up with the deck and I actually ended up losing, which means that, you know, this deck is not going to be an easy deck to play. But if you guys are interested in learning how to play it, then definitely check out the Metafy and then reach out to me and see if we can maybe make something work. I'm going to, like I said, definitely be putting out a branded masterclass for y'all pretty soon. So I want to show you guys pretty much this game, where I am going to be going second into the Snake Eyes deck. And I think that, like, if I played a little bit better, I would be able to crack the entire board. Because I did crack the entire board, but I lost to the follow-up. But yeah, let me show you guys this game. So he goes he opens Engraver, Lullaby. There can only be one. Azure Statue, Witch. So he's going to be able to pretty much do his full combo here. Right? So I'm like, sure, no problem. I don't use my Sarnier because I was really afraid of talents. So I wanted to kind of like play around talents. So I don't use it here. So yep, this is good so far. So gonna go Ash Sack to take Idea Bell, summon the Oak effect, or I make IP, scale this thing Idea Bell, Oak effect Sack Ash, summon the Flamberge, make Promethean, put 2 back, Promethean effect, bring back Flamberge, scale the IP. He goes Lullaby and adds a Baldrake from his deck to his hand. Use both of these to make Zelantis, use the effects, and then there it is. So he pretty much set up like the board. He tries to use DSR here. I'd end up Sarneering it. In hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have. I wasn't sure. I kind of took the risk because I feel like my hand is so broken, even me like that I just don't really mind. But it is definitely a concern if you have talents. I draw for turn Dark Ruler, which is gonna be really good. He goes activate there can only one, which actually doesn't even hurt my deck, but for some reason I overvalued it too much. I apologize. I drew another Zars, of course. That's my luck. And in terms of the banish, I lost 2 Cortesias, but I decided without going second, so I have no Cortesias left. And then I also don't have access to Gimmick Puppet, so that's gonna be kind of like the thing. So I think I should have like stayed in main phase 1, use High Spirits with like Yo Albion effect, and then use Enchain High Spirits, and then search Quem, normal summon the Quem, and then make Chaos Angel. And then he cannot Promethean Princess me because he already has a feed on the board and he's locked. And he can't use his Bistio because he has the Dragon on the board because he activated there can only be one. And I think I would have won that game instantly after reviewing, but I can show you exactly what I did. I went battle phase first. I triggered the Saronir. I'm able to send the Retribution. I activate the Shrouded Dragon to send Brand Fusion to draw a card. I chain the High Spirits to dump it to search a copy of Follow of Albaz. The reason why Albaz is really nice here is because if he doesn't bring up his IP, I can just normal summon Albaz and nuke his board for free pretty much. So he has to bring it up now, and he has to use IP Masquerade now basically. So he banishes my fusion monster. I Dark Ruler him. I use the effect to add back the Banner Fusion to my hand. I activate Thrust to get branded in white. And then from here I'm going to go Albaz, discard the Pot of Desires, make Mirror Jade. And then I go branded in white, chain Jade. So I can banish the Flamberge, make Borderlord Furious, use Borderlord Furious to pop my Jade and pop his there can only be one, so that I can resolve the Brand Fusion to make another Jade. The issue is, like I said, the misplay is pretty much the fact that he had a lot of follow-up, and I lose my Jade, and I have no more Jades left, so I'll lose the grind game. And so that's like pretty much like kind of like the issue. And then his DSR sends my Furious, and then his Azure checks my Libellion. But if you looked at like how I pretty much broke like the board of like Floodgates, Azure, you know, IP, all that good stuff, I think I did a pretty good job. But like I said, I reviewed it in hindsight, and I should have actually won this game if I like played a little bit better and stayed in main phase 1. So I mean, you live and you learn, and I think that's like the best part about the branded deck is that you got to play really well. If you make one small mistake, you're kind of like out of there. But yeah, I hope you guys learn a little bit about this, like I guess review of my gameplay. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the Patreon, the Meta for only $5 a month at the lowest tier, and you have other benefits there as well. And of course, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the video if you guys enjoy content like this, and if you want more content like this, let me know. If you guys want to see this deck in person at locals, let me know, and I can definitely build it and take it to locals as well. But yeah, just a quick little video for y'all. Cheers, thank you, bye, and have a good one.